Oh, I just spotted something bad. Welcome back guys to another Architect Reacts video. Today we are reacting to inside the $13 million penthouse east at 67 Franklin with Ryan Serhant.
The Pritzker Prize winning architect Shigeru Ban went in front of the Landmarks Commission in New York City with a mission. And that mission
That is a nice
was to get
facade.
something approved in Tribeca that had never been done before. A landmark on top of a landmark.
Look at that view.
The cast iron house at 67 Franklin, originally built in 1881, had the opportunity to become one of the most high-end luxury condominium projects in New York City history. But on top was going to be something that no one had ever seen before. Something so special that it took nearly 10 years to create. And today, for the first time, I bring to you
That is such a nice
Penthouse
shot.
at 67 Franklin. Welcome. So let's start here. Penthouse East. 4-bedroom, convertible to 5, because there's an amazing den or home office.
I just want to look at this exposed corner here. So you do have structural elements which are at play here. You do have this beam which goes in this direction here, and that connects through to the beam on the other side which supports the rate above. They've deleted a column from this corner, and that really opens up the dual aspect. So you have views going in multiple different directions. You have views going out in this direction, and then you have views going out in this direction. In theory, you have views going out in the third direction, which is straight through where this column would have been, which is a really nice use of structure there to inform some of your design principles.
However you want to use it. 3.5 bathroom, duplex, 20-foot ceilings, all of this amazing open space. It's incredible. Just over 3,800.
Again, you can see the open planning space here with that beam that goes through in this direction here, which supports the facade above, i.e. the glazing, which is sitting above here in there. What you do have is a double height space here. So what you have here is this framing that wraps around and it loops all the way around the perimeter, and that supports anything which is sitting above that and allows anything below that to be opened up to the outside decking that he has here. So you have this transition that goes from inside to outside and vice versa. And that's really, really nice use of space, especially when you have a double height space here. So you have one level which goes from here to here, and then you have another level which probably starts down here somewhere and then goes up beyond. So basically this double height space is wrapped with a building envelope which in itself is supported through this beam system. Very nice use of collaboration with regards to informing the design between the architect and the structural engineer.
Square feet on the interior, 1,531 square feet on the.
And you can see that again from the exterior. You do have a sort of seamless design going on here. So you do have this beam which follows all the way through, regardless of what's going on inside.
Exterior with the grill, and it's huge. I mean, look how cool this is. With the steps and the stone, this huge open terrace that's just right off the living space. Like, you can't bind.
Again, you can see that nice transition space there. So all of this inside space has a direct connection with all of this outside space here. And this facade opens all the way up. So all of this paneling here basically stacks back and opens from this end all the way to that far end up there. That's a great facade system when you want to really open up that space. You can basically stack these panels back and forget about them.
You can't. How many times have we done property tours, especially in Lower Manhattan, where we're saying, okay, now let's go upstairs to see the roof.
Just a comment on the privacy here. There's this wall here to the exterior which provides a little bit of privacy for anyone that's looking beyond this building here. There will be certain building code requirements for the height of that to prevent people from falling down. or provide some extra cover from any wind, especially in somewhere where you have many tall buildings surrounding your locale. New York is definitely one of those locations which has that. So this will be determined by code somewhat. Apart from that, you do have this stepped perimeter here, which basically means that the living space on the interior of the apartment is somewhat sunken from the height of this wall here. So this living space is set at that level, but then there's 2 steps to get to this point where the wall then starts to form its height. So that increases the height of the wall from where the living space is, but the appearance isn't as drastic because you do have those steps there.
How many times have we done property tours, especially in Lower Manhattan, where we're saying, okay, now let's go upstairs to see the roof, or let's go out onto this little balcony, and that's about it. Now, this is like I'm in LA. This is like I'm in Miami. This is a penthouse on the beach, except we're on.
So you can see that clearly when you step up in this location here. The level here to the external terrace is different to the level here to the internal space.
Franklin Streets. We're on the Stones. We are where it all began in New York City. It is amazing, and this outdoor space runs all the way around. Now let's go inside. This is just one of the coolest spaces that I've ever seen.
Having the outdoor space run all the way around is definitely a great feature, especially when you have setback requirements for buildings. In New York, you have to set back many of the buildings so that the lower levels of your neighbors get enough daylight. So that doesn't mean that you can't use that step back space as a roof terrace, and that's done well in this project here.
New York City. No one builds this. Like the volumetric square footage, the glass, like all of the details, even down to like the lighting in the ceiling and the HVAC, like the linear diffusers, everything here is so perfect. It's just so cool. I don't know, I see so many apartments every day. I've seen so many homes in my career. It's rare for me to be wowed, but when I first walked into this space, I was wowed. Like my jaw literally fell down and I had to go get it and have it surgically reattached.
I'm not sure what these HVAC systems are, but it looks like they have some slot diffusers. So in this location here, you have some heating and cooling elements that would create an air curtain, I guess, in front of those windows. So that will blow down air in this location here. But then you also see it in this location. It's a great use of mechanical equipment to form some of the architectural features, and it blends well.
Reattached. Can you see any scars? No, I don't think you can. I go to a good guy. I'm just kidding. I've never had plastic surgery in my life. Please don't make that a thing. Huge open living space. Like I said, this wingspan.
I'm in 2 minds with regards to the color palette here. They've chosen something which is very clean, devoid of color and features, and it's not very welcoming. It can be considered quite cold.
Glass totally opens up is 80 feet. You've also got your 5th bedroom or your den, the way we've modeled it, / study, home office. Great open dining space, living space, and then this gorgeous, incredibly modern, very sleek kitchen. Now the kitchen has a full suite of Gaggenau appliances. So you've got your oven, you've got your stove, you've got the Gaggenau hood that pulls out, vents to the outside, which is amazing. You've got your deep sink, which one has a pro disposer, which is your incinerator, and then your other kind of rinse sink here, which is awesome that it's in one. A lot of times you do 2 sinks, you don't really need it. Dishwasher, everything is
great features there.
Tons of storage space. And then behind us, you have a full laundry room, a big, big room. Side-by-side washer dryer with a slop sink and enough room to do all the storage and hanging space that you could possibly want. Go crazy with your bad cleaning self. And then behind me here is our 1st bedroom, which is an ensuite, great for a teenager, great for in-laws.
You can see there that the windows look a bit tinted there. That could be for multiple reasons, but the most likely reason is because of the solar gains from the sun, so i.e. the heat that you get from the sun. Because these windows are quite big, they need some special coatings that enable it to reflect some of the heat from the sun.
Great as a guest room, great as an office too. And speaking of office, I actually do want to show you the den space over here, because this living room is humongous in Penthouse East. And it's got this amazing L shape that gives you what is ordinarily like a primary suite style room that is now a great viewing space. You can put a TV on this wall the way we did, or you just sit here and you look at your views, you look at the outdoor space, you're grilling burgers and you're checking on them. Maybe you're vegan and you're grilling.
That's like a living room nook.
And you're checking on your corn. Whatever you want, you can do from right here. This actually might be my new favorite room. I love the living room, and I love those.
You can see the cameraman in the reflection.
Dramatic the space is with the ceilings and the windows, because I've never seen anything like this before in New York City. But then I love how cozy this space is. And maybe you could do like a nice dark velvet paint to it or a wallpaper to really.
That goes back to my earlier comment about how the use of no colors within the main space is distracting from that comfortability that people feel when they have a mixture of colors, especially earth tones. In this little nook that he has here, it's showing furniture which shows a number of different earth tone colors which are more warming for the space rather than the cold features of the kitchen space. It's very utilitarian, and that's reflected in the color palette that they've chosen.
Really play on the different moods that you might be feeling during the day. And then look how open this space is. Like, I know it's hard to see on video. The only structural column in this entire living space is this bad boy right here. You go to any other tower, anywhere else, and you're gonna have structural columns in the corner, one right there, one right there. This is all open space. Like there is, I mean, did you notice this? Like this is just a curtain. There is no wall here. Right here, you have a series of glass doors that I opened for you before we started doing this tour, and you just push them over like a baby could push them. They're so easy, and they run alongside these tracks that line up perfectly, and they are so seamless, so that you can have that amazing indoor-outdoor lifestyle in New York City, which is, I mean, like, show me another place that looks like this in New York. Leave a link in the comments. Show it to me if you can find another listing that's like this.
The indoor-outdoor space of this apartment is very popular amongst people who hire an architect. It basically opens up your space to the outside and creates additions to your living space without actually having to build a building there. The opening of these doors here creates twice as much space just by using that as a feature.
I don't see it. I don't see it. You know why? Because it doesn't exist. This place is straight fire. Let's go upstairs.
You can tell this space will be so great during the summer.
You have your bedroom suite. So we have 3 full bedrooms, 2 guests, 2 kids, plus a primary suite that is going to blow your mind, and 1 big, beautiful double vanity bathroom that is shared by these 2 bedrooms. Let me show you these bedrooms. Typically, I don't take you into the guest rooms because we just have so much else to focus on.
Again, they've used a white color palette for some strange reason.
But these are actually great. Great ceilings, great closet space. They're super cute. And then you actually have this shared balcony space. This little triangle corner space where each bed...
Oh, I just spotted something bad. Clearly the level of the threshold is super low. So this threshold here, running along here, that's super low. And so when you open the door, it clashes with the carpet here.
Room can have access to the outdoor space. You have a glass railing. I just think it's really great. Just to be able to step outside, take a phone call, live your life a little bit. I think it's a lot of fun. It's one of the little details that our developer of 67 Franklin put into this building that goes the extra mile. And now the primary suite. And then you've got your primary. Now I know what you're thinking. This is the most beautiful primary suite you've ever seen, and you'd be right. Not only do you have an excess amount of storage space and closet space, here, 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 you also have a full dressing room on the other side, but all of these sliding glass partitions can close off to give you that extra privacy, or you can leave them all open, just like downstairs, so you get all of that natural light, depending on how many people are living with you in the apartment at the time. I would actually come up here and then I'd look down Overall, my friend,
It's so true what he said. The light coming in will be greatly diminished if this was a solid wall. So if this was a solid wall that ran through here, and this was blocked off with solid wall, then the only light will be coming through these end windows. And so you get this shadowing effect as you go through the apartment bedroom here, where everything on this side of the room will be lit up, but as you walk through, everything on the other side would get darker and darker. With this window on this side of the bedroom, it lets light come in from multiple angles, so it creates a better space for you in your bedroom.
Friends and family and clients, and this is where I would deliver my holiday speeches. This is a year of amazing memories because I bought this apartment. That's what I would say if I bought this apartment. And then I go on to a bunch of other things, and I'd wonder why no one brought me any alcohol or food. And they're like, well, no, you bought this whole apartment. You bring us stuff.
He needs to tie his
I'm following over
shoelaces.
here into the primary dressing room. The dressing room is actually shaped a bit like the living room. It's a big L. So you've got this whole wall of hanging space that you can completely decorate. And then you have a whole sitting space here. Or it could be more hanging space. I'm imagining maybe shoes here. Maybe you have a little makeup station here. There's a lot you can do, and it's windowed. How many times have you had your own private dressing room that is this big, that has a windowed view out onto the streets of Tribeca? And then, not to be outdone, you have your primary bathroom. Gorgeous single cut countertops.
So that's a single cut counter, which is formed of one solid piece, and it goes all the way from end to end. And they've matched the curve of the counter with these base units here, which is also a nice matching detail. Very nice.
That blend perfectly into the oval sinks. This is really, really hard to do. Edged out for the toilets, you've got your window, you have your big, beautiful floating egg. You need to have your floating tub. And then this just isn't a bathroom. This is a spa. This is a wet room. Glass partition here, and then you've got your hidden drains in the floor. So you're taking your shower, and the water is just effortlessly disappearing and circulating below the stone.
Now that's kind of weird to have the glass in this direction when your shower's coming up there. That's basically gonna wet up the whole entire room. You're better off having your shower glass screen in this direction so that any water bounces off it and then can go down into the drain. Just one little note there.
Really, really, really high end, top of the line.
It's a nice place.
And that's it.
Very nice place.
That is Penthouse East at 67 Franklin. If you're a resident of Tribeca, or if you've been in New York City anytime in the last couple years and you came down to this part of Tribeca and you looked up, you were probably wondering, wow, what's coming there? What is that? And here it is. It's ready for you. One of the most spectacular penthouses in New York City is now on the market with Serhant. Thank you so much for watching.
Now that was a good apartment tour. It's very typical for a penthouse apartment in New York. One of the things I must note is the use of the color palette, which I personally didn't like. I think it needed a bit more splashes of color within a lot of the spaces. The kitchen was just pure white. The bathroom was largely pure white as well, and it wasn't complemented with any features which add a splash of colour into that space. You don't have to do any garish colours which are overly bright, but you can use multiple different colour ranges which lend themselves to the spaces. You can use pastels, you can use vibrant colours if you wanted to, just for highlights, or you can use neutral tones, for example. I did mention that earlier in the video. I think overall it's a nice apartment, but I would have added my specific finishing touches to make it a home rather than a utilitarian space. That's it for now. Catch you in the next one.